ね、思い出した。本当の足場があるので、それ終わってから、中に足場入れて設定できる。
ああ、ビデがあったっけね。
うん。そう。だから、1個だけ、1セットだけ入れて使えるよ。
あれ、900？
幅は900ぐらい。
2メーター？
うん。そのぐらい。
700の2メーターか、900の2メーターか。これぐらいあれば900。
そうそうそう。
これぐらいだったら600ぐらい。
歩くところはこのぐらい。でも足場はこのぐらい。
アンチが1枚しかない。
Okay. We started the formwork last week. We're going to finish it this week and get it all tidied up. We can't pour concrete this week because of a scheduling conflict with the pump company and with the concrete company. They've scheduled us for 10 days out. So we're playing a little bit of a waiting game. I have a feeling these nails are way too big, and when we're smoothing the concrete, this just doesn't feel right. I think I've got the nails in the wrong face because they're pointing into the concrete right now. Yeah, I think I'll take them out, find some smaller nails and try again. Not a big difference, but this is what I got. I've got the smaller spiral nails. They're narrower and a little bit shorter, smaller head.
That's not working at all. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. It just breaks away if you smack it with a hammer. So I've just had a lesson from my helper, Sensei, about how to do this. I was using the wrong nails. Mine are much too fat and too long, and he's given me some of his nails, the proper nails, which apparently you buy by the 100 gram instead of by the box or by the count, and you space them every 4 to 6 inches apparently. So I was doing it all ass backwards. Oh, and you do stick them in from the bottom, but you pound them all the way in so that they're not sticking into the concrete when you pour. I have no idea where I got this hammer from. I don't think I bought it, but I found it somewhere. It became mine. I have never used it. I've never had a reason to use it, and I've always wondered what would be the reason to use it. Well, we've just found a reason to use it. Finally, one of the last bits of preparation before we put the inner panels on is to tie this platform, this lid, down to the rebar hooks that we made last week, which I didn't know the purpose of. The purpose of them is to sit in the bed of concrete down below and act as a hook that we can tie this to. So I'm just threading it through the hook at the bottom now. I've already drilled 2 holes here, and I just have to find the hole. Come on, come on. There we go. See? Look, we got one. And then we'll just get the other one. There we go. Now we're tied around the hook at the bottom, and then we just tie it as tight as possible up here. And that's it. That's all she wrote. There we go. Before we get started for the day, I just want to show you some of the engineering here that Michio-san has created for the septic tank. This thing is like an armored tank. First of all, you can see on the outside there's just a ton of vertical and horizontal galvanized pipe. And at the corners particularly, they're very worried here in Japan about corners, always. I got that when I was doing the house foundation several times. So they make sure that they stagger the horizontals such that they always have a space right here so that they can put a tall vertical in the middle. And then we'll use either wire, rope, or chains. They prefer chains to chain the, this post tight into the corner. And it really just locks in the corner. Then you'll also see a few wood pieces. This is where we weren't using sufficiently long galvanized pipe. So wherever there's a space in the galvanized pipe, he's put a wood piece. The wood pieces are 48 mil. The galvanized pipe is 50 mil. So there's a 2 mil gap, but we just deal with it. And you can see the spacing on these is every 45 mil. Now when we get up inside here too, we've got some pretty advanced stuff going on, which thrills me. First of all, Michio has closed off the sides. Okay, these panels right here, there's only 2 of them, but they are necessary for making sure that the concrete doesn't spill out, of course. Down here, we've got 2 more panels that have been put in, and over on the other side too. Now these are similar to the steps that we're using, or the kind of the lid that I've been calling it, that we're using up top. This is so when we pour the concrete in from the top, it doesn't come up through this at this point right here. And we don't have to have it all the way around, because these are sufficient to keep it down when it gets over to here also. You regular viewers will have seen this before on the foundation we did it as well. We put nails here at an angle to guide the pour, and they definitely make it difficult to smooth. But once you start pouring, your concrete starts covering the ink line, so you can no longer see the ink line. So these are kind of considered to be required so that you can pour to the line and smooth to the line without having to see the line. Then we get inside, a similar thing. Wherever we have a piece of galvanized pipe missing, we have a wooden scrap here as a holder bracket, and you see that all over the place. When we pour, you're going to see this in a little while, but we're going to probably put a section of scaffolding in here so that we can walk on it as normal. But there's probably going to be 3 people up here, maybe 2. So it's going to get a little crowded. We don't really know, but we expect the pump guy to stand right here and be able to pour everything there. Now when he comes over to this area, we may have to just shuffle the scaffolding over a little bit for him. We're not sure how that'll work, but we'll figure it out on the day. And I think that's it. From an engineering side, this thing is just locked down. So we've got a typhoon coming. It's in the works. It's offshore now. It's supposed to really kind of come closest to us in about 2 days. But since yesterday, the winds have been really, really rough. And what we just noticed this morning is some of our brackets, which we have attached to saplings and trees for stability, have all come loose. The reason it's come loose is because the wind is blowing the shit out of these trees. They're moving back and forth, but this immovable object isn't moving. So they're breaking free at the tree. Now that's a good sign. This immovable object. Pretty perfect. I'll probably run a bead of caulking just for the top 6 inches here and smooth it out. It'll be perfect. Michio-san and I just had a discussion, a rather heated discussion, about how to fix this hole down here, how to cover it up so the concrete doesn't pour out. And he believes we have to take down the whole wall. And I said, absolutely not, we're not doing it. Stop your complaining. So now I have to figure out a way to fix it, seal it, without taking down this whole wall. That won't move. Okay, we're getting down to the last little bits of stuff, but there's a lot of last little bits of stuff. And I'm going to do my best to do them all, but before I call myself done, I'll definitely check with Sensei over there to make sure I have done them all. So here are some of the things that we're going to go through. First of all, we have to put the triangular chamfer molding on the other side. In order to do that, I'm going to use a small level. Cast over to the other side, make a mark, and then snap a line all the way down. We have to do that all the way across. Then nailing that molding actually is a bit of a bitch, so I'm going to go through that. Then we have to, of course, put screws in all of the connections. We have these 1x3s here, 1x2s here.
We're going to put screws in all of these to hold them down, and there are multiple places that we have to do that. Then we have to put kind of braces on the top here to disallow expansion. So we'll just, you know, cut a piece of scrap wood, some plywood, and nail it down here to secure the top from moving. Then we also, down there where we have a slope, we're going to cut about, you know, 30 centimeter, maybe 50 centimeter long pieces of plywood that once we pour, we'll place down on top of the two pink moldings to hold the concrete down. Because if we don't place something there, we're worried that the concrete will continue to fill up as we go up the slope. So we put a cap on it down there, hold the concrete down, and then we can work our way up. And I think those are the last things I have to do. And then of course pipe. All the pipe isn't on yet. And then once we get the pipe on, then there's just going to be a ton more of little adjustments that we have to make. We're both taking 2 days off now. It's the middle of the week. Aimee's birthday is the day after tomorrow, so we're going to an onsen. Onsen is a Japanese concept for those of you who are not here. It's a hot spring essentially. And going to the onsen is essentially going to a fancy hotel with a hot spring and having lavish dinner and lavish breakfast and staying the night and just doing it up a little bit, getting drunk in your room. And I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure Aimee is too. So we're going to take 2 days off. Michio's got another job to run to, so he's off as well. Back in a flash. Get two. Bicep. Grape vinegar. Grape vinegar.
ございますので、こちらぜひスープとご一緒にお召し上がりください。失礼いたします。
Look at the color on Fuji-san.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah. Michio-san has completed all of the prep work for the septic tank concrete box, and it is pretty impressive. So not only do we have the formwork for the actual septic tank concrete box all prepared, we even have access from the upper road level for us and the pump guy to walk on. And then we have scaffolding set up inside for us to all stand on when we're pouring. We've covered up the top of this to stop any falling leaves from dropping in there. And I wouldn't have thought it necessary, but it's just one extra stage of preparation, cleanliness that Michio-san wants to do. So good. I think it'll be better for the end result. Yeah, this is all done up really, really well, and we have nothing to do but wait now for the concrete pour day. I want to clear up one misconception with regard to the septic tank. This concrete box we're building is simply a storage box for a septic, you know, the typical plastic, you know, crane into a hole type of tank. And the reason we are doing it this way is because we honestly don't have enough flat area on this property to dig a hole big enough to hold the septic tank. Some of you may have seen the earlier videos where we dug out this you know, pathway to the septic area. We couldn't, you know, that wouldn't have been sufficient to put the tank in because only half of it would have been covered due to the slope of the land. And we couldn't have an uncovered septic tank sitting there or a half-covered septic tank sitting there. So you know, definitely this is overkill. This is highly over-engineered and over-constructed for our purposes, and actually probably going to be more expensive than I had planned. But it's the right thing to do given that this box is necessary for the septic tank, number one. Second, it's going to be a buttress for this road. It may even tie into the concrete or asphalt road once we pour that or lay that. So it's going to be a critical piece of this, you know, upward construction. So yeah, it's more than I had expected or more than I had envisioned early on, but I think it's the right thing to do. Up top, we have pretty much locked down all of the pipe. We are putting in all of the bracing that is required to keep everything straight and true. We'll probably cover this up with the Tyvek paper as well to keep fallen leaves off. And we're pretty much ready to just shut it down and play the waiting game. Okay, we've got everything wrapped up now, buttoned down, waiting. We've got a few projects now. All next week, it's a short week next week. It's only 4 days. But we've got to do a few things. I've got a whole pile of firewood up top that is blocking our path. We got to get that out of the way, so I got to handle that. And we've got these two huge stumps from the two big trees we cut 2 videos ago that we're gonna pull next week. And we are going to carve out the side of the this road, just like we've done down there already. We're going to carve it all out down here, you know, put the dirt, you know, somewhere out of the way so it still doesn't get in the way on concrete pour day. But that'll keep us busy for 4 days next week, and then we'll come back and do the concrete pour. So yeah, it's been a very productive week with a trip to Mount Fuji in the middle, so it's fantastic. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for hanging around, everybody. See you soon.